Well, hey there, Mama, and welcome back to the Moms Overcoming Overwhelm podcast, episode number 174. I'm Emily McDermott, and I'm here beside you on this journey as we work together to declutter your home, head, and heart. Well, happy 2025 again. I have been enjoying the decluttering challenge that we're having in the Facebook group this week. And if you want to join in or want to join in our next one, head on over to tinyurl.com/moms overcoming overwhelm. It has been an interesting week for me because last Friday, my son was standing on a sled, fell, and broke his arm. He needed to have surgery, and now we are kind of shifting along with snow days to figure out what we can do to take care of him and do everything else that needs to be done in the home. So grateful to share this transform process with you. It is the process that I use myself. It's the process I use with my clients. So at least when things are crazy and we can't control what we would hope to control in our lives, we can know how to declutter, right? So what do you say? Grab the notebook and pen and let's dive into today's episode. Hey there, Mama. Are you tired of all the stuff crowding your home, calendar, and mind? Do you wish you could say goodbye to the endless to-do list running around in your head? Want to declutter but don't know where to start? You're in the right place. Welcome to Moms Overcoming Overwhelm, where you will find proven and practical solutions to declutter your home, head, and heart. Hi, I'm Emily, a wife, boy mom, and simplicity seeker. I struggled to get pregnant and felt overwhelmed until I discovered decluttering could create the physical and emotional space I needed to become a mom. Now, 2 kids later, I've transformed my life and motherhood by developing simple systems around decluttering, capsule wardrobes, kid stuff, cleaning and tidying, meal planning, time management, and more, and I can't wait to share them with you. If you're ready to reclaim the time and energy you crave, be present with your kids, and finally enjoy the life and motherhood you so deserve, let's kick overwhelm to the curb, shall we? Grab your lukewarm coffee, your notebook and pen, and clear up some counter space. Let's do this. So just a reminder that if you are interested in me helping you one-on-one to transform your home, whether that be in person in the greater Washington, D.C. area, or perhaps virtually to help you with decluttering systems or how to declutter a specific part of your home, head on over to simplebyemmy.com/coaching. And I would be more than happy and thrilled to help you so you can kick off 2025 right. Okay, we are going to jump into my transform system. So of course, I love my acronyms, and this is no different. And we're going to start with the letter T. And T is trash. So when you have decided what area of your home you're going to work in, you want to start with the low-hanging fruit. That is the stuff that is easy for you to make decisions about, because decluttering at its core is decision making. So we want to make sure that we're making the easy decisions first. Therefore, we're going to start with trash and do a sweep of the room or the area to gather and remove any trash that is there. So that's pretty self-explanatory for our letter T. Our next step is the letter R, and that stands for relocation bins, otherwise known as take-back bins, which means that if you're working in an area and you notice that there are things there that should not be there, that do not belong in that area, need to go to a different room, a different floor, etc., we do not want to pick that thing up and immediately move it, because we're going to get distracted and we're going to just be going up and down the stairs. Now, I like exercise as much as the next person, but usually when we are decluttering, we have a limited amount of time. So you want to have maybe 2 or 3 baskets or bins, and they can be for the different floors in your home, with the understanding that when you are done with that particular area, you will relocate the things back at least to the correct floor, if not the correct room, and maybe the correct home. So we don't want to get caught up in perfectionism. So if the best you can do is get it to the correct floor and then put it away later, then that's perfectly fine. But we just want to make sure we're separating out that which doesn't belong in that space so we can move on to the next step. And the next step, which is the letter A, is anything easy to donate. So as I mentioned, we just had a decent amount of snow here, and I had some snow bibs and snow boots that no longer fit my kiddos. It was easy to know that those were things I wanted to donate to others so that their kids could enjoy the snow day. So things like that, perhaps their clothes your kids have grown out of, toys they don't play with anymore, books that are not their level anymore. Sometimes when it comes to our own things, it might be a little tougher, but perhaps there are things that you thought, oh, I want to give that to my friend, or oh, I want to give that to my sister. So those types of things we want to put aside. I would recommend having some bags, maybe paper bags that you might get from the grocery store, or perhaps the Ziploc freezer bags where you can write on them with a Sharpie. And then you want to put who the person is that you're giving that item to. And ideally, you would collect all the things that you want to donate, have them maybe picked up or taken to the donation center. Also, the things you want to bring to other people, have those all collected in one area. And as soon as you are done with your amount of time for the day in the spot you're in, I want you to bring those things immediately to your car and have a plan for when you're going to get them out of your car. I'm laughing because that tends to be the issue, the hang up, right? Maybe we get it to our car, but then it's like, oh, what's going to happen now? So we want to know in our schedule, when am I seeing this person next? When am I going to the donation center? Perhaps we're having a donation pickup, which I would highly recommend. So any of those are great options, but we want it to be out of the space and preferably out of our home. Okay, we are moving right along to the letter N, which is name what matters right now. So we have gotten rid of all of the low-hanging fruit, the trash, the things that belong in other rooms, anything that we know for sure we want to donate or give to somebody else, right? Now what we have to do is really understand what matters most to us. And I've spoken in previous episodes about the 3 F's, which is asking ourselves, how do I want this space to feel? How do I want it to function? How do I want it to flow? Also knowing what our vision is for that room. What are the things that we want to happen in that room? So if we're in the kitchen and everything is covered when it comes to our kitchen table, our kitchen counter, what's our vision for that room? Well, we want to be able to prepare meals. We want to be able to sit down with our family. So knowing what our vision is for the space allows us to know how to move forward, because the next steps are where we're actually needing to make the more difficult decisions. So the S in transform is to sort like with like by category. And this is because within a given space, you might have things in the same category that are strewn around the room. You might have books in your nightstand in your bedroom, but you also have them in another pile and you have some in your closet. So you want to gather and sort like things with like. So using that example, we're able to find all of our books and then we're able to have them together. If you're working in your closet, maybe you're able to get your sweaters from the closet and then also, working with clothing, gets our sweaters from the closet and then get them from our drawers, get them from wherever else we might have them. And so we want to have whatever category we're working on that we have like categorized with like. And then we're going to move on to the letter F, which is to fill our set and determined boundary with what we love and use and like first. So this goes back to the container concept from Dana K. White, which is fundamental to being able to create artificial boundaries around our stuff. Otherwise, we're just going to cram our whole home with stuff, which is kind of the issue, right? So when we have our books, we're going to set up, okay, I want to have this number of books in my nightstand. Once it is full, then I'm going to donate the rest, or I'm going to just start getting books from the library. Being able to know what that boundary is and filling it, playing that game I like to talk about, love, like, maybe, no. We're starting with the loves and the likes and then being able to see how full the boundary is after that point. Next, we move on to the letter O in transform, and this brings us to the out of sight, out of mind bin, which is what we use if we're having a hard time deciding on an item and we're not sure if we're willing to let it go. So it's kind of a maybe. And the out of sight, out of mind bin is just as it sounds. We're able to put things in there and then have a date in our phone, also a date on the bin itself. I recommend anywhere from 30 to 90 days. And then we're going to put that aside, preferably not in the room that you're working on, but in another area. And that is so if you don't miss anything that's in there after that amount of time, you can consider letting it go. So these are the items that you know for sure, like, I'm not quite ready to let go of those, but I don't really need them in the space right now because I'm not using it on a regular basis. You'd use that out of sight, out of mind bin. Okay, we are almost through the transform method. Now comes the part that might be the most challenging, which is letter R. Reflect on what no longer serves you and release the excess, kind of a double R there. This is where we are asking ourselves somewhat difficult questions in order to know whether the item is actually serving us. And I have been working on a decluttering playlist for mindset specifically. I'm working on some other playlists as well. So I'll go ahead and link that in the show notes because we have lots of episodes about the stories that we tell ourselves about our stuff. I paid so much money for it. It was given as a gift and I don't want to let it go because what will the person think? I might use it someday. I want to hold on to it just in case. All of these stories that our brain tells us that causes us to hold on to things. And what we need to do is to be able to really kind of hold that up to the light and say, okay, yes, it could be that I paid a lot of money for this, but do I still need to keep it? Is it serving me? So that's where we want to ask some of these more difficult questions and then be able to release the things no longer serving us so that our boundary is primarily filled with the things that we love and like, the things that we use, and anything that we realize isn't serving us, we can let that go. And finally, we have the letter M. So by this time, you've hopefully used the transform method for the different categories in that space. And now it is reflecting the vision that you had for that particular space. Now for the letter M, we're going to maintain what we have with tidying habits. And so daily tidying is fantastic, especially in those high traffic areas such as your kitchen or maybe dining room table or your entryway, anywhere where there tends to be bottlenecks of stuff. And so having those tidying habits is really helpful. We do have some episodes on that as well. But just being able to know the points in your day where it would make sense to tidy, perhaps after breakfast or maybe after the kids go to bed and before you go to bed, being able to do that 5-10 minute tidy, that was really, really helpful in order to maintain the space. So there you go. There's our transform method. I'm going to go ahead and review it. And again, this is the method that we're talking about over in the Facebook group. So if you want additional support with your decluttering journey, you can head over to tinyurl.com/moms overcoming overwhelm. So the transform method: T, trash, you want to gather and remove it. R, use relocation bins so that you know what has to go to other floors. A, anything that's easy to donate, that has easy decisions for you to make. N, name what matters right now. S, sort like with like by your category. F, fill your set boundary with those loves and likes first. O, use the out of sight, out of mind bin for those maybes that you can't really decide on. R, reflect on what no longer serves you and release that excess so that you can live comfortably within that space and that it is reflecting your vision. And M, maintain the space with tidying habits. And that is the transform method, and I'm really excited for you as you go on to use it. And if you need one-on-one support, don't forget you can head on over to simplebyemmy.com/coaching. I would love to help you make 2025 your best year yet for you and your home. And with that, I will see you next week. Bye for now. If you like today's podcast, here's what you can do. Just take 30 seconds to leave me a review. I know you're a busy mama. You're overwhelmed, in fact, but 30 seconds of your day makes such an impact. I'll be blessed by your words. They'll definitely make my day. And who knows, you might be entered for this month's giveaway. In Apple Podcasts, scroll down to write a review. Thanks so much for your time. I'm so grateful for you.